You will be shocked because of what action of the ex-wife of Elon Musk. She had to leave, but soon to return and do. It started like any other Wednesday morning at Elon Musk's Bel Air mansion. Solar-powered coffee brewed automatically, his schedule pinged into his Neuralink-connected device. And a soft-spoken housekeeper named Yulia polished the grand staircase with near-religious dedication. She'd been working there for only a few weeks, but her efficiency was borderline magical. Elon, who usually didn't notice staff beyond a quick nod, had recently begun asking her thoughts on Tesla interiors. She had opinions. Surprisingly good ones. At 8:42 a.m., the gate buzzed. The system auto-identified the visitor, Justine Wilson, Elon's ex-wife, unauthorized, but not blocked. She strolled in like she owned the place. No call, no text, just stilettos on marble. Where is she? Were the first words out of Justine's mouth, bypassing the formalities entirely as she stormed into the living room. Elon, seated in shorts and a SpaceX hoodie, glanced up from a tablet. Who? He asked, already sensing the incoming storm. Justine's eyes darted toward the hallway. The maid, Yulia, or whatever imported name she uses. Elon sighed. She's cleaning. Cleaning? Oh, so that's what we're calling it now. Justine's voice pitched high enough. Yulia, hearing her name and understanding every word despite pretending not to, froze mid-stare. She gently placed the Windex bottle down and vanished like a ghost. Why are you here? Elon asked, keeping his tone somewhere between bored and cautiously curious. Because, Justine said, pacing like a prosecutor mid-closing argument, I saw your little dinner on Instagram. You were smiling. You don't smile unless someone's feeding your ego or your mouth. Elon blinked. That was with Tim from marketing. Oh, sure. And Yulia just happened to be tagged in the background, holding your prototype napkin dispenser. She was testing the grip. It's part of a new design. She was smiling, Elon. She pointed a perfectly manicured finger at his chest. You replaced me with a woman who cleans your baseboards with imported lemon oil. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? I mean, the oil is organic, he muttered. Justine stormed into the kitchen, dramatically opened the fridge, and pulled out an unopened bottle of kombucha. Oh, this again? Mango turmeric. She's fermenting your chuckers now? I like mango, Elon mumbled. Then complete absurdity. Justine grabbed Elon's lighter. The Boring Company Collector's Edition, mounted over the sink. For display only. She pointed it at the floor. You better tell me right now if anything's going on with that mop-hugging Mona Lisa, or I swear to God I will burn the corner of your hardwood until it's artistically charred. Yulia peeked from behind a curtain, horrified. Elon didn't move. It's not even hooked to a fuel source. Justine clicked. Nothing. Click. Click. Silence. Ugh. She dropped it, and it bounced once before rolling under the marble island. I hope you choke on your carbon-neutral guilt, she said and stormed off, knocking over a Roomba as she left. Elon stood there, blinking. The Roomba recalibrated, spun in a slow circle, and muttered something vaguely judgmental in Cantonese. Then his phone buzzed. A message from Yulia. Sir, should I continue dusting the oxygen generator? Or, is now a bad time? Elon stared at it, then replied, Dust the stars, Yulia. Let the chaos clean itself. The day after Justine's dramatic appearance, the mansion was oddly quiet. Elon had back-to-back meetings and barely touched his phone. He said nothing to Yulia about the flamethrower incident, and she didn't bring it up either. She showed up early, cleaned efficiently, and avoided eye contact more than usual. Around noon, a car pulled up to the gate again. Same vehicle, same person. Justine. No buzzing this time, she simply followed behind a delivery van and slipped through the opening before the gate fully closed. Yulia saw it happen from the second-floor window and instinctively shut the closet door behind her. Elon was in his office when the footsteps approached. Justine didn't storm in this time. She walked in calmly, holding a paper bag of takeout from a vegan spot they used to visit. She didn't look angry, just tired. I'm not here to fight, she said, placing the bag on the kitchen counter. Elon didn't get up. She opened the fridge and grabbed a bottle of water, acting like this was still her house. She moved around with the casual entitlement of someone who used to have a drawer here. I overreacted, she said eventually. But I've seen this pattern with you before. You get close to people when you're trying to distract yourself from stress. And she's in your house every day. You're going to end up entangled without even realizing it. Elon stayed quiet. He didn't think Yulia was a distraction. In fact, he barely thought about her beyond her role. But the comment stuck in his mind. Entangled. It was a loaded word coming from Justine. She didn't stay long. She didn't even eat the takeout. She just left it on the counter, muttered something about going to Pilates, and was gone before the hour was up. That night, Elon reheated the food in the microwave. He didn't tell anyone it wasn't his. Yulia walked into the kitchen just as he was finishing it, and he nodded toward the other half of the portion. Want some? She shook her head politely. Already ate. But something was off. She was different now. A little colder. More professional. She started calling him Mr. Musk again, like it was week one all over again. Over the next few days, Elon noticed the change more and more. No more casual chats about her brother in Ukraine, or the short opinions she used to give on the ergonomics of the Cybertruck handles. Just quiet cleaning and quick exits. Elon didn't know it yet, but the next message wouldn't come from Justine. It would come from Yulia on a Sunday night, and it would change the rhythm of the house once again. It was Sunday night when the message came in. Short, formal. Mr. Musk, I will not be returning tomorrow. I will arrange to send someone to collect my last paycheck and personal items. Thank you for the opportunity. Elon stared at it for a full minute before even blinking. He reread it twice. There was no emotion in the message. No explanation. No mention of Justine or the incident. It was the kind of text that was carefully written, every word selected to avoid further conversation. He didn't reply. Instead, he wandered the house. It was quiet, still spotless from her last day of work. But for the first time, he noticed the absence of things she used to do that weren't in her job description, like arranging the fruit bowl by color or watering the succulents without being asked. He hadn't realized how much space she'd quietly filled in his routine until she vanished from it. The next day, a woman Elon didn't recognize showed up at the gate. Early 30s, polite, but stiff, said she was Yulia's cousin. She handed over a sealed envelope, took a small box from the front hallway, and left in less than 5 minutes. Inside the envelope was a simple thank you card. Printed, not handwritten, nothing personal. It was clearly something Yulia had prepped in advance. Elon still hadn't heard from Justine again. No calls. No texts. But her shadow lingered in the house long after she'd left. Whatever jealousy or suspicion she'd let loose in that wild confrontation, it had done exactly what she wanted. It made Yulia uncomfortable enough to leave. Elon didn't like how that sat with him. Later that week, he asked one of his assistants to reach out and see if Yulia was interested in returning under revised terms, if needed. The answer came back the next morning. Thank you. But no. That was it. And yet, the more Elon thought about it, the more he realized it wasn't about the job for her. It was about dignity. She hadn't quit over a cleaning schedule or a disagreement about how to polish the marble stairs. She'd quit because she refused to be caught in someone else's unresolved tension. It was the most professional boundary he'd seen drawn in a long time. And it stuck with him. The story should have ended there. But it didn't. Because 3 weeks later, Elon saw Yulia again. By accident. It happened in a way Elon would have found ironic if he'd had more time to process it. He was leaving a panel at a mid-sized sustainability conference in Pasadena. Nothing huge, no live stream, no viral sound bites. Just a quiet event, mostly engineers and academics. Elon liked it that way. He could breathe without cameras in his face. He cut through the side of the venue to avoid a group of well-wishers near the exit. That's when he saw her. Yulia. Wearing a black shirt, sleeves rolled up, clipboard in hand. She was talking to one of the event coordinators near the check-in table. She didn't see him at first. She was busy directing a few volunteers, something about reorganizing the sponsor booth tables before the next speaker. He stood still for a second, unsure if he should say anything. She looked different, more assertive. Same posture, but less reserved. The kind of person who now ran the logistics, not cleaned up after them. Then she turned and saw him. It was one of those odd moments, awkward but not dramatic. Her eyes widened slightly. Then she gave a small nod. Not warm, not cold, just professional. Elon approached. You work here? He asked. Yulia glanced at her clipboard. Freelance coordinator. I started helping with event logistics after I left your house. He nodded slowly. You're good at it. I know, she said simply, not in a smug way, just stating a fact. There was a pause. She didn't ask him how he was. He didn't ask her why she left again. The subtext was too obvious. About that day, he began. It's fine, she cut in gently. You don't owe me anything. Elon hesitated, then shrugged. Still, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. Yulia smiled faintly. Things rarely do. He didn't push. He knew better than to pretend this was some movie moment where an apology unraveled everything and people went back to how things were. That wasn't real life. She motioned to the crowd starting to filter in. I have to get back. Yeah, he said. Of course. She walked off, blending into the background of her new job as effortlessly as she used to blend into his home. And just like that, she was gone again. But this time, it felt right. Elon didn't try to follow up. He didn't send another assistant. Didn't have anyone dig for her contact details. Some things, even in his world, are better left unoptimized. It was late afternoon when Justine showed up again. This time, there was no dramatic entrance. No shouting. No flamethrower. She buzzed at the gate, waited patiently, and was let in like any other visitor. Elon had just finished a call and was sitting outside, sipping a lukewarm espresso on the back patio. She walked out onto the stone path in heels far too expensive for the grass she was walking on. Her hair was perfect. Her expression wasn't. "You heard she left the event company?" she asked, without sitting down. Elon didn't move. "Yulia." Justine nodded. "Apparently she's consulting now. Project to project? Heard it from someone on a sustainability board I sit on. They said she's booked solid." He didn't respond. Not with surprise. Not with approval. Just a small nod. Justine walked over to the edge of the patio and crossed her arms. "You know, I thought I was protecting you." Elon finally looked at her. "From what? From getting too close to someone who wasn't part of your world." Elon smirked. "My world doesn't work without people like her." The statement hung there. Not bitter. Not performative. Just fact. Justine's tone shifted. Softer now, but still defensive. "You were never good at noticing when people were using you." She wasn't. "You sure?" "Yeah." Justine looked away, toward the hills. "I think I messed that up," she said quietly. Elon didn't say anything. She wasn't fishing for forgiveness. He wasn't offering it. There wasn't much to say. After a pause, she turned back. "I know I came in here swinging last time. I was embarrassed." "For what?" "For still caring, I guess." This time, Elon didn't flinch. "We've both moved on. That's allowed." Justine gave a half-hearted smile, like she wasn't sure whether to appreciate the closure or resent it. "You're colder than you used to be." "No," he said. "Just less available for chaos." That seemed to land harder than she expected. She nodded once and turned to leave. He didn't walk her out. A few minutes after she was gone, Elon checked his phone. No new messages. No updates from Yulia. But he scrolled up to her last one anyway, the formal resignation, the line drawn clean and straight. He stared at it for a moment, then archived the conversation. Not deleted, just filed away. Some people leave quietly, he thought. But the echo stays. The mansion was quiet again, just the low hum of solar batteries and distant wind. This time, Elon let the silence stay.